Hello, first of all. My name is Bada, and I run a page called My Way of Life. And basically, the purpose of this interview is for you to share about where you came from, your experiences in life, and just about what do you do, so the people who are watching can pick up something, learn some more things about life, and basically move on forward as well. And so, following that, can you introduce yourself briefly?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm Javier. I'm originally from the Philippines, and I've been here in US for I don't know, like 14, 15 years.
Hmm.
So I came here initially as a student. Before that, I was actually working as a college professor in University of Cebu in the Philippines, and which is very interesting story though, because like before you can actually become a full-fledged professor, you need to get a master's degree.
Hmm.
And for some reason, for some reason, I
Hmm.
decided, oh, I want to get a master's degree in the US. How about that? So
Wow.
that's the reason why I went to the US. It was a very long story. We can unwrap that story later,
Hmm.
how that become, but pretty much that's what it was. So I came to the US, get a master's degree. The initial plan was basically after that master's degree, go home and be a professor. I was also a certified public accountant there as well. So before I left, I took a lot of jobs. I was a professor. I got my accounting degree. I was a practicing CPA that time.
Hmm.
I'm also a CPA reviewer. I don't know what CPA reviewer is.
No.
So it's basically like once you before you actually take the actual CPA exam, you take a refresher, because like the accountancy is like 4 years, right? That
Yeah.
you won't expect to remember all of those in just then take the exam.
Exactly.
So the reviewer is basically like a 6 months review, and my subject was managerial accounting. I was the teacher of that, like a reviewer. The purpose of that is basically for you to have a refresher and take the CPA exam. So uh, after I got into the US, well, I did like it, by the way. So,
It's good.
and that's the reason why I decided, oh, maybe this would be a good opportunity for me to actually think about future, especially I got kids. So then the path did change. And then after I get my MBA degree, I get employed with tech company in
Mm.
Washington, and it's still involved with multiple tech company here in Washington State. Then then I decided, hey, since I'm on the tech company, why not just take another school, right? So
Okay.
I went, and after that MBA, I get another school in University of Massachusetts in Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. It's kind of strange, right? Like you get an MBA, and later you get a bachelor's degree. So that's why that's the path I took. And it is a good thing though, because like most of the subject when I was in I got a bachelor's degree in accountancy in the Philippines,
Yeah.
they accredited those minor subjects, and I don't need to take that full 4 years in bachelor's degree in
Oh,
information technology.
that's good.
So I'm just getting my major subjects. And the good thing about that as well is it's a hybrid kind of thing. Like even before the pandemic, that's a hybrid. So there are some subjects that requires you can just take it full time online, and there are some subjects that you can actually need to be there to take the exam.
Uh,
And that's a thing that I took, because it's very because I was also working full
okay.
time.
You took
I get a
your.
family, and it's a good thing to have that option as well. So I took that options, and after that, then everything is pretty much history. I still here in the US, and I'm still working um, mostly in the tech company sector.
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Is that a long what do you call this, introduction, or
Yeah. Quite.
quite a bit? Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. The entire point of this is for us to get to know you. So more the better. More the better. Definitely. So you basically took your course online, like your when you were in University of Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Yeah. Like you took it online basically. Like.
So again, there are subjects that you can take online, and there are some that you
Ah,
can't take online.
exactly.
So that would be a best option that time for me. I
Because
couldn't just stay there, and my work, it was in Washington, and I'll be in Massachusetts at the same time. But there was a semester that I think it was like one semester before you graduated that you need to stay there for the entire semester. So I took that, and most of the semester, like, it's half and half. You need to travel in Massachusetts, and take care of your subjects and stuff like that.
hmm. It says here in my notes that you went to Harvard or some. You have something related with Harvard. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh yeah, actually that was kind of strange because, like, for some reason, like, my situation is a little bit odd, like,
Hmm.
um I get a master's, I get a bachelor's in information technology, and all of a sudden it clicks, like, I want to get a master's in information technology. How about that, right?
Yeah, okay.
So what happened was, like, I had an invitation from, actually, from Harvard, that say, hey, if instead of having those, because there are two paths in Harvard, pretty much. The path would be like, if you just graduate in high school,
Yeah.
and most of that's the normal path. You have high school, and you need to submit your essay, and they will evaluate you based on that, and you need to
Hmm.
do
Yeah.
lots of writing, and they will do an interview.
Yeah.
Most of the case, people would go that path. But there's also, they called it the professional path. I don't know how they call it right now. So basically, these are people that are already in the field, and they are already doing their career, like me. I'm a
Yeah.
full-fledged IT, a finance developer, kind of like that stuff. So that, you still have those interview, and they provided you, like, they called it, like, qualification exam and qualification courses.
Hmm.
So this, you still need to pay for those, and if you pass those, then that would be your key in order to get into Harvard. I did took two of the exams, and I passed it. The reason why I passed, I'll tell you why. Because those subjects that I took is basically the one that I'm working while I'm working. Like, it was like
Uh,
JavaScript and SQL, which I work in on a daily basis. So
yeah.
it's super impossible that I won't pass the subject. But I realized later that I don't need a Harvard degree. Like it cost me, maybe, I don't know, like 100 grand or 200 grand,
Ooh, wow.
and then I don't know how much would. I never actually crunched the number. Don't quote me on that, because
Yeah.
that's just my estimate.
Yeah.
So I realized that, unless I'm gonna be going to politics, maybe, like,
Hmm.
or maybe you want to be a VP or something, or I don't know. Unless you want those kind of job, like you want those name attached to your name,
Yeah.
those Harvard name, then you
Yeah.
might need those. But I realized that, on my late my career, that I just want a peaceful life and enjoy life.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll just ask my kids to get into one of those Ivy school, maybe. But I took past, and they said that, since you passed, you have at least 3 years to decide whether you want to continue and use that key in order for you to get into Harvard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you get the key? Like how long ago was that?
I don't know, man. Like, I think it's already 3 years. It's
Uh,
very, very, very. It's been a while. I
hmm.
couldn't give you the exact date, but I think
Yeah.
it was been a while.
So basically, you passed the test and you got into Harvard, but you just didn't choose to
Um,
go through on it, basically.
but I don't think so. Well, if I'm gonna be like, say, hey, I want to do it again. I don't think so. There's something clause there that says you can't do it again, right?
Yeah.
I can do it again, but again, you need to go through that process again, and you need to take
Yeah.
the subjects. Of course, I'm gonna get it. If my purpose is to pass, I won't make myself super difficult, right? I'm gonna be getting subjects that I already know, right?
Hmm.
But this you know, if you become older, the wisdom part comes in and say, hey, you need to evaluate what works for you or not, and if you really need it or not. And I just realized that I don't need it, and I'm gonna be spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's not only the money that you need to spend, it's Harvard. You just don't get away without staring at the books the entire day. Like, where's the quality of life in there, right? Like, again, there are people that wants that, and you need to work for it,
Yeah.
right? It's just like I am
Not gonna
already on past that. You don't understand what I'm trying to
yeah.
say, right?
Yeah, I
I'm
get it.
already past that. Then I feel like there's no way for me to continue unless I need to use that for something else.
Hmm. That's good. That's good. So you've been living in the US for like 15, 16 plus years now. Um, like tell us a little about like how it's like living there. Like what about the US do you like a lot? Like name what few things that you like about the living in the US?
Man, it was like, I tell you a little bit story about it, Lo. Like, when I came here as a like, I got that MBA degree. No, not really. Like, when I qualified for that MBA, so
Hmm.
you need to fly here in the US.
Yeah.
And the first town that I went through is not town really, like a state. It's Iowa, right?
Yeah.
And when I arrived at the airport's like, oh, then I need to drive like an hour from the airport going to the school, and all I can see is cornfield.
Oh wow.
And one of the one of the moment there, I asked the taxi driver, let's say, are we sure we are in the US? I asked that question. But yes, you're in the US, of course. Like, there's the point being I'm trying to cross is that there's a misconception about, like, if you're in the US, think about like, you are always going to be in this tall building in Manhattan,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's just portion of the US. US is super big,
Yeah, it's very big.
and and uh and of course Iowa is a different industry. They are on the food industry. That's the reason why you can see lots of cornfield.
Ah, yeah, makes sense.
So the point being I'm trying to across is that um the opportunity here in the US are endless.
Ah, yeah.
So unlike other country, if you want to be what you want to be here, this is the country that you're going to be going.
Ah, okay.
Again, there are not like, I would say that the country is not perfect, because
Yeah,
there's no perfect country,
no country is.
but you can always work what you want and get what you want, as long as you inspire, as long as you work for it.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing about the US. And as well, like, well, since we're already talking about the US, the one thing I could do for you is compare that against what you will have an opportunity if I'm a Filipino, if I'm gonna be in the Philippines.
Hmm.
Now, now, let me tell you this though, like, each Filipino I know, man, I'm the less smartest of them all, I would say, with that, because like most of the Filipino I know, my friends, they are the most smartest I could ever imagine. The only problem in the Philippines is there's no much opportunity for you to grow.
Ah, yeah.
So it's basically like, there's too many people. It's a matter of demand and supply, right?
Hmm.
There's too many people. The supply of talents are really great, but the but the demand is not there. Like the country, the economic condition of the country could it support the supply of resources, the human resources that they have. So we have a term in the Philippines called disapura. I don't know if you know this term. So it's basically like, every time everybody like, uh, once you go to the college, your inspiration basically, like, most of the kids want to go abroad,
Yeah.
because because like because again, these people, I told you, like, I think I'm the dumbest of these people. Like, they are super smart people, but
Hmm.
there's no opportunity in there.
Yeah.
So they go. Most of the like most of my friends, I have lots of friends go. They go to country like Dubai, Middle East. Most of them go to that. It is a good thing. It's a good money.
Hmm.
The income there in Dubai is pretty much comparable here in the US. and they don't pay that much taxes, and it's really good. So what I'm trying to say is, this is a land of opportunity. US is a land of opportunity, and the same as in New Zealand as well. You know, in New
Definitely.
Zealand, in Australia, like Western countries, they are land of opportunity.
100%.
And I'm one of the lucky person to actually hear and live, pretty much.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with that because that's kind of how Mongolia works as well. Because like in Mongolia, it's like because we're like a third world country, we're not as developed. There's not as many opportunities. The money you can get is just not even comparable to like the money you can get abroad. And yeah, so like a lot of people when they do finish high school, they're like, oh, I want to go to America, go to like the other countries like Korea, Japan, and some of us like me, like New Zealand, um, and just anywhere like that because it's like a place where one, it's a lot, as you said, it's like a land of opportunities because it's a lot more opportunities, and two, you get to experience a different culture, different environment, like
Of
a social
course, yes.
environment, and that's a huge, huge development like boost. Like I feel
Exactly.
like if I stayed in Mongolia all of my life, I would not be even close to where I am would be where I am now. Because when you're able to like see both sides of like culture, because you see the Mongolian culture and like I'm here to see this Western based culture, and like you learn both sides, you get the best of both worlds basically.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. And don't forget your roots, man. Like,
yeah,
if I'm given a chance, hear me this. If I'm given a chance to have an income in the US and live in the Philippines, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
yeah, 100%.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you would do the same thing.
Hmm.
Except that that's super hard to actually comprehend. You know, like if you're a millionaire, maybe you can do that, but for ordinary folks like me, it's super impossible to do it. So, how long have you been in New Zealand, by the way? Just
I
to ask this question,
Yeah,
if you
so
don't mind.
I was 11, so that'd be 2013, I think. Yeah,
2000, oh, 2013. We're 20. Okay,
8 years.
like 8, 7 years.
Yeah. So I came here when
Yeah.
I was 11, and I I'm 19 now. So yeah, 8 years. That would be it.
Can I ask you a little bit more question? Did
Right,
you
go for
already
it, go for it.
learn English when you came in New Zealand?
No, I couldn't speak it enough.
What?
What was the question?
Man, you speak like a native I don't know how you call it, New Zealander, right?
Oh yeah,
I,
they use
yeah,
a term called Kiwi. Like
Kiwi. Okay, Kiwi. Yeah,
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 yeah. A lot of people say that it's. I don't know. I just used to watch like a lot of cartoons and stuff, so I kind of picked up an accent, and then yeah.
yeah. Well, just tell you though, like when you are well, if you are more a little bit older, you might be able to straight English, but sometimes for me, like me, it's really hard to pick up the accent part. You know, like I
Yeah,
always have that Filipino linguistic identity when I'm speaking.
yeah.
I might be able to speak straight, but not with the American accent. Obviously, yeah.
100%. That's because I actually kind of heard it when you first said hi because there's a lot of Filipinos in where I live as well.
Right.
It's called Glenfield, and we call it Glenfilo because there's like so many Filipinos in it. That's the whole. And,
Really?
and so like I'm friends with a lot of Filipinos, and so when I hear their voice, I was like, oh yeah, you can have the similar accent.
Yeah.
Can you still speak? Is it Tagalog, or do you speak?
No, I'm actually speaking the Southern language, which is Visayan. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
familiar with it, but Tagalog is our national language, so
Hmm.
I can speak Tagalog a little bit. You know, I can speak mixed with English, but I rather not to because people will laugh when I start speaking Tagalog.
Yeah.
So,
That's good. That's good. So you came to. How old were you when you came to the U.S.?
I don't know, like 24.
Oh, okay, okay. So you were like fully grown up at that
Yeah,
point.
grown up. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have two questions currently right now. So one of them is just overall, what is the biggest accomplishment in your life? Just something you have achieved fully, just overall in your life. And then two, what is the biggest accomplishment in your like in your life career wise? So because if they're the same answer, you can just say the answer once. But if they're different things, then you can also say it as well.
Man, that is a super difficult and broad question, by the way.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Okay, so I would say my lifetime accomplishment. Let me think about it. Um, let me put this way. You know, like when I left Philippines, I get two kids. And and again, as I told you earlier, the initial plan was to get that master's degree and go back home. You know,
Hmm.
then just get the fruit of that MBA and use it to Philippines.
Yeah.
And I also contemplating of staying because like when I was in the Philippines, I actually doing I was working as a college or university professor. I was actually doing a review center. I get a little business in as a CPA, but it's really hard to meet ends in terms of income.
Yeah.
Like you can work as hard as you can. I was starting before I was 24,
Hmm.
but it's really hard to make the ends meet,
Yeah.
so then I have two kids, so I was thinking about like I was even like as professional that time. Again, I was a certified public accountant,
Hmm.
and I was having a hard time to make sure that my finances are good, and
Yeah.
so so I decided maybe the best thing for me to do is actually bring my kids in the US. And the reason behind that is basically like whatever they want to do in their life here in the US, they have much opportunity. And if they don't do what they want to do in life, you know if they are bad kids, I don't know, like they're good kids until now, but if
Yeah.
they're a bad kids,
Yeah.
there are government that they support them.
Ah, yeah.
So that I considered my best accomplishment in life,
Hmm.
having my kids here in the US,
Yeah.
so that they will have the greatest opportunity that they have in their life.
Yeah.
And every time I think about it, I think I made a good decision. Man, to tell you honestly, I can just go back to the Philippines now, and I can just live there comfortably. Although I won't have a lot of money
Hmm.
compared it here, but I can live there comfortably.
Yeah.
But for them, they even just started. My kids are in high school. One of them is in high school, and the other is in middle school.
Hmm.
They will have the best opportunity that they could have if they dream it and they work for it. They will get it.
Yeah, they can get it exactly.
And what was the other question? The second one?
It's more career-wise. So accomplishment career-wise.
Career wise. Oh well. I don't know how to answer that question, man. I'm just trying to I would say that career wise, everything is just a learning process. Like um, I I get a bachelor of science in accountancy there in the Philippines, and I went get my MBA through necessity, and I also get my bachelor's degree in information technology here in the US. I got two degrees here in the US, one in the Philippines, and I also took that because of because of the necessity. So I think my greatest accomplishment in life is man, to tell you honestly, when I was in the Philippines, man, we are super poor, man, like super poor. I think my greatest accomplishment is just um um always trying to find a way. I can find a way to actually survive, uh I think that is my greatest accomplishment in life, because like um compared to my peers, I feel like I feel better,
Yeah.
um to be honest with you, like when I went to that MBA degree, my sister was in Canada, and she just started in Canada at that time as well. She bought a ticket for me going to that to the US. She's the one who bought the ticket, and I have a $300 in my pocket. And then for some reason I find a way to actually get a Citibank loan in the US while in the Philippines to get
Wow.
that admission.
Yeah.
And I think my greatest accomplishment for now is getting here without a money, like just use your head, and and try to be realistic and do whatever you can to achieve what you want to do.
Hmm.
You know.
And yeah, both of those things you said, one about bringing your kids to the U.S. and also being able to basically start from nothing and to get where you are today. Those are 100% fully admirable accomplishments, and like, yeah, 100%. It's very respectable. And I feel like my mom would also very agree with your first accomplishment when you talked about bringing your kids, because she spent a lot of time for trying to bring me and my brother to New Zealand or to like a different westernized country, and she did it. And every time I ask her, like, are you proud of the PhD or bringing me and my brother here? And 100% of the time, it's always being me and my brother here. So
Yeah, yeah.
100% she agrees on that. And the other thing too, like me and our family came here, New Zealand, very different lifestyle. It was like a shock, because we used to live pretty comfortably in the Philippines. Like as you said, like there was no like problem with money, and then we all came here, and everything just the living costs just went up by like triple, and
You
everything.
meant Mongolia, right?
Yeah, in
You said
Mongolia we were
Philippines,
super
yeah.
comfortable, yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we came to New Zealand, and everything just went up, and it was like,
yeah.
yeah, it was very different lifestyle. And then we got back up, and yeah,
Is
well,
there any regrets?
to coming here,
Yeah,
nah, it's a beautiful place.
really? Like, did you actually miss your friend? You're young when you came, actually
Yeah, I was
11, so
11.
you won't miss that
The
much
only people I
friends
miss
there.
would be my family, like my cousins and my uncles and
Of
aunties,
course, yeah, the close one, yeah.
close ones. But like weather wise, people wise, just living condition wise, New Zealand is just beautiful, man. I'm
Yeah,
looking outside my window right now, and it's just like trees, greenery, and it's
exactly.
fresh
Yeah,
air, and
it's
so
perfect.
and it's like supposed to be cold, but I'm only in like I can just leave.
What's the what's the season in there right now? Like here right now, it's summer. It's 100
That's
degrees outside. You're using Celsius, Fahrenheit, by the way. Are you using Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many, like, is it summer, winter? What's the weather there
It's
right
in
now?
the southern hemisphere. It's in the bottom side of the world. It would be winter now. Yeah, it's winter. It's
It would be winter. Oh, okay. So you're expecting
summer
some
in December.
snow?
Hmm?
You're expecting some snow coming in?
No, no, it doesn't snow here.
Okay.
So it doesn't snow
Interesting.
in the place I live, because I live in Auckland, and Auckland's it's very warm most of the time. So the coldest it got was like probably like 2 days ago, where it was like +4 in the evening, like 4 Celsius.
Wow.
So it's still like rather warm. The problem is it gets really cold because of the wind, because there's a beach literally everywhere. The whole thing is you're
Makes
literally
sense.
15 minutes drive away from any beach. You can be anywhere in New Zealand and you can drive 15 minutes to a beach. That's the whole thing.
Wow. You're living in a dream, man. You're living in a dream.
Yeah. All right. I have one last question because our meeting's about to run out. Um, I'm in university now. I just started university, went through the whole process of transitioning, just finished my first semester. And as I know, people have a lot of different paths to where they want to go in life, right? They take different types of paths. And I'm kind of, even though I'm doing an engineering degree, in the future, I want to do business. And like, what were your thought process when you graduated high school? And you said you wanted to take a master's, but why did you want to like do a
So,
master's? Or want to get into like a professor?
so how many minutes do we have, just in case?
You make like a 2 minute answer.
2 minutes. Okay. So, to tell you honestly, I'm not a good kid. Like, I'll just enough to come by and go to the
Yeah.
next layer, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But they called it that as a late bloomers. I'm a late bloomers. Like, I realized later that I need to do something in order that my life become better.
I understand.
So my advice for you is um enjoy life. That's first. And the way you actually choose your degree is basically always do the supply and demand thing.
Hmm.
So let's say, for example, you know Indeed, right? Indeed.com,
Is that the job company?
job company. Yes, you
Yeah.
go to Indeed and think about it, like when you do something, you need to choose something that you like first. Let's say five something that you like.
Hmm.
and you need to concentrate that five. Then you need to choose which five do you want to go to pursue, right?
Yeah.
In order for you to decide that, go to Indeed.com, search that career, and what would okay, I would assume that the money would be one of the reason why you want to pursue
Yeah.
which of that five. So you want to choose which one that would provide you much better income.
Yeah.
That's the first one. And second one, you want to choose something that people doesn't have or that doesn't want to, or there's not a lot of people want to.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, mechanical engineering, I don't know, like electronic engineering,
Hmm.
I don't know, like things that the demand is super high,
Yeah.
but the supply is low, because you'll always have something that
Exactly. You'll have a
can
lot of
put you there.
opportunities. Yeah.
Exactly. Like to tell you honestly, like here in the US, I can pursue a finance degree, but all of the Americans like finance degree.
Ah,
So
yeah.
if you're gonna be going to finance degree, then you're gonna be getting really less salary, man,
Ah,
because
yeah.
there's a lot of supply, and they're even like you're competing with a native speaker. Like they speak better English than me, although I can explain better than them, but the
Yeah.
cultural thing. Come on.
Yeah. Like,
So that's what I'm trying to say.
yeah. All right. That was a wonderful interview. One of the best interviews I've ever had. I feel like it's very nice to have a talk with you. Nice to have you here on the channel. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you very much. And thanks for the interview.
Okay. Yeah. Talk to you soon, man.
Yep.
Thank you for having me.
Yep. You too.
Bye bye.